Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us here on Talkin Fight for another episode of the panel featuring yours truly, Graham and Mike Orr, commonly known as Mike Orr at 4. We're going to rip through a few news items that have just come in off the wire, and then we'll go into some of the we will be fighting Dillian White, as Mike and I were discussing earlier. $41 million purse,
huge
U.S. funds, I'm sure. Yeah, that's big. Huge. The lion's share going to now. The interesting thing about it, the lion's share, $32.8 million going to Tyson Fury's camp, and the remaining $8.2 million heading off to Dillian White. Keep in mind, Dillian White's last fight against Povetkin, I believe, he made $300,000.
Yeah, and
this is a huge.
Yeah, you're right. It is huge. It's so huge. But here's the thing: it might not be shown on pay-per-view in the United States. So that's a huge purse to be paying for this. There's talks that both these fighters are not pay-per-view worthy stateside.
Stateside?
Yeah,
I would agree with that. So, I would imagine that Tyson Fury, if he was fighting either. If they were ever to come, he would be facing Big Baby. I think there'd be a huge American audience who'd pay for that. But yeah, who the heck is Dillian White? I mean, I remember him a few years ago getting thumped by Povetkin. I mean, I know they had the rematch, he was not.
Povetkin in that rematch didn't look the same as he did before. So he was stricken. He was COVID stricken. Let's put it that way. So he had the flu. He kind of looked like a zombie in there. He didn't look like the same Povetkin that we know and love. And honestly, I think Dillian White just, in that rematch got the upper hand due to that, and that's why we're at where we're at now. And honestly, I don't think he's a pay-per-view headliner in North America, to be honest. And Tyson Fury, he's always fun to watch. But the thing is he needs a warm-up fight before he fights Usyk because he's already put on 30 pounds.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was just mentioning that to Christian from Boxing 247 yesterday in our conversation that we had with respect to can Tyson Fury really physically recover from this up and down battle he has with his body, and to go into the ring against someone who's right now, quite frankly, in tip-top shape, Dillian White, although he had surgery and but he's looking to. But anyway, it was funny to hear Tyson Fury say, "I'm going to annihilate Dillian White." So anyway. I mean, he also said he's going to annihilate everyone else too. But anyway, so that's one big news item. Finally, we get to see some, because let's just say, I don't know, I don't know who's going to win that fight, but let's just say Tyson Fury wins it. That means AJ and Usyk are going to go toe to toe. Again, that's up in the air because I think Anthony Joshua will have found new trainers and new ways to look at defeating Usyk this time around, as opposed to thinking just because he has the reach advantage, he's going to beat him playing the long game. So we'll see who wins that one. But then I would imagine the winner of both those two fights will go toe to toe. So hopefully Tyson Fury will be going toe to toe against Usyk in the future.
Well, you know what? It should have happened already, but I guess he's not ready for it. Because honestly, I believe if he's going to fight Usyk, he's going to want to come down to around 250 pounds instead of the regular just 270 that he's at. Maybe to be a little more agile. And honestly, for him to lose that kind of weight, no wonder he needs this kind of step-up fight in between with Dillian White. Because for him to lose 50 pounds by the time they get into the ring is not feasible. It's not healthy either.
And my only comment there is Dillian White is prepared right now. Tyson Fury is not.
Yes.
So anyway, we'll see what happens. But the other big news item I just want to discuss before we discuss the upcoming bouts, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano news that hit the headlines around the world, because this was history in the making. Yeah, absolutely. We've been saying this for a long time. And I believe there's another women's announcement too. Was it Natasha Jonas? I believe. Oh yes, it was. It was against the Polish girl, I believe, Pietkowska. So anyway, so a couple of women's titles on the line, but the big one, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, Madison Square Garden. It's going to be not only a huge draw, I believe, as in Everyone's talking about it. The entire boxing world is talking about it. The sports world is talking about it. It's going to be a huge event, a huge fight. Everyone's looking forward to it. The fighters are looking forward to it.
It's huge. It's huge, man. It's huge. This has been years in the making. We're finally going to get to see it, man. The biggest fight ever in women's boxing between pound for pound number 1 and 2 of in the world. And it's the only one that will not only make boxing history, but women's sports history, man. MSG has hosted thousands of fights throughout its illustrious years, beginning more than a century ago. And now, 140 years later, this matchup finally marks the first time 2 female fighters are headlining a combat sports event at the world's most famous arena.
Yep.
That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. And you know what? What a great match to put in there, man. What a great match. The world wants to see it. I want to see it. You want to see it. Everybody out there wants to see it. And it's going to happen.
Some of the other headlines, too. I'm just looking over on my other laptop here. Canelo Alvarez, be interesting to see who he fights next. I mean, I see a couple of names being offered up by Eddie Hearn. It'd be interesting to see if he does go toe-to-toe against Jamal Charlo. That would be an interesting fight. But it's interesting that the WBA has ordered Gervonta Davis Tank to go toe-to-toe against Rolando Roberto in his next fight. I know the other one. Yeah, that's right. Bob Arum. This is the headline. Bob Arum wants Deontay Wilder versus Jared Big Baby Anderson fight, and he wants that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Big Baby's got a couple of more fights to conclude before he goes. I mean, that's even if Deontay Wilder's fit to fight. I'm not even sure he's fit to fight. Right. But if he does go into the ring against Big Baby will literally kill him.
Yeah, I think he's going to take him out. For sure. Also, in the headlines, Demetrius Andrade is vacating WBO at 160 title and moving up to 168.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another big one. And
some of the pundits out there are saying for Demetrius Andrade that might be a big mistake for him.
It might be. It definitely might be. We're only gonna, only time will tell. That's pretty much what we're gonna wait for now. Who's his first fight when he moves up? That's another thing. Like moving up to 168 to battle Zach Parker to try and become mandatory for super middleweight. Canelo Alvarez, Zach Parker, Demetrius Andrade. It's gonna be a good match.
Absolutely. Like I said, Canelo Alvarez has some big decisions to make coming up. I mean, Christian yesterday in our discussion was saying over the years, Canelo Alvarez made a name by picking and choosing who he fights and picking very, very carefully who he fights to ensure he wins. So it'll be interesting to see moving up a weight division who he goes toe-to-toe against next. What else we got? Do we have any other headlines?
The WBA ordered Gervonta Davis versus Rolando Roberto fight. So this is going to be.
Sorry, were you just sleeping when I just said that?
Yeah, man.
Like I literally just said that.
My headphone kind of blanked out there a little bit. I didn't know, but yes, I'm on board with you. Yes, I am on board with you. The WBA has ordered it. We're loving it. I can't wait, man. There's some big fights going to be coming up in the next little while. I'm super excited, super stoked about it.
Yes.
Also, Lawrence Okoli, he's back in action. Against Michael Sislak, I believe it is.
Yep.
And that's for February 27th. Can't wait to see this one get underway. Honestly, I love watching Okoli get in the ring, man. He's a great boxer, man. Very talented, heavy hitter, and he loves knocking people out, man. And we get to see him back in the ring again. And honestly, I believe he's going to come through with a victory in this one for sure.
Speaking of knockouts, we've got some undefeated fighters going toe-to-toe this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my gosh!
Am I right?
Well, first of all, we got some crazy cards going on. Like honestly, so Don King has done it again.
Yes, I know.
count them, people. Count them. There's 6 championship bouts on one card featuring 2 world championships. The co-main event spotlighted with Ilunga Makabu defending his WBC World Cruiserweight Championship against Machunu, and the WBA World Heavyweight Champion Trevor Bryan risking his title against Jonathan Gurdy. What an event this is going to make up to be. honestly.
And those last two names you mentioned, they're both undefeated heavyweights, and they're both from America.
Trevor Bryan is 21-0, and Jonathan Gertie is 17-0-2. Both these guys are, coming up in that heavyweight game, man. Out of the United States, and another couple of guys that have probably gone unnoticed and not too many people know about.
Yep. The Don King days.
Yeah, man, the Don King days. Definitely. The rest of the titles up for grabs, man, is the vacant NABA cruiser title is up for grabs, and the vacant NABA middle title and the vacant NABA welter title is all up for grabs on this one card. So it's huge, man. There's a lot of titles up for grabs. Everybody's gonna be trying their damnedest. This should make for a great weekend, a great event of knockouts and a good weekend of knockouts, man. So
absolutely.
I'm looking really forward to all this in action. Also, let's talk about the Castillo and Martinez card. One of our favorites is on this card, man. Look out for him. Haven Brady Jr. is back in the ring.
Right.
Yeah, Haven Brady Jr. is back in the ring. He's 4-0, looking to improve to 5-0, and he's going to be taking up Olguin, who is 15-20-5. So a little bit of a test for our friend Haven, man, and hopefully he's going to come through with a wonderful stoppage like he always does, man. He's he's clean across that board now, and he stopped every single fight that he's been in. And fans, we've been telling you to watch this kid from the time we've been watching him since the beginning, since he signed with Top Rank. And you know what it is, man. We bring you these kids, and they're doing the damn this year, man. Also, Nico Ellie Walsh is on this card.
Oh yes. Hey, yes. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's being trained by Joe Fraser's former trainer.
Yes, I just saw headlines. Actually, I just saw headlines involving him, and he's got a new trainer. He will now be trained by Richard Sloan, I believe the name is.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I think Nico's at 3-0 right now.
Yeah, he's at 3-0 right now, and he's going to take up Jeremiah Yeager, who is 1-1-1. So honestly,
right.
I'm thinking this is going to be a bit of a little easy push to push him to 4-0. I think this is going to be an easy fight for him. It is what it is, but it's going to be nice to see him back in action, though. Also,
on both. Sorry, I was just say on both sides of the fence, all it takes is one punch, and anyway.
Exactly. Who's heading the headline on this though, man? Xavier Martinez. We've been talking about this kid. He's going up against Robson Castillo, and he's 16-1. So this is a good matchup. Both these guys fight, very, very meticulous, very methodical with their shots. They both got good power. They both got speed and great defense, man. This is going to make for a great bout. So, guys, make sure you check this fight out. It's going to be one to watch. Definitely a good card here, man. We got tons of action. A lot of new and up-and-comers, man. There's a lot of guys on this card who are 1, 2 fights, 3 fights under the belt, a couple of debuts. And, guys, I'm telling you, this is good boxing to watch. So even though you don't know these guys, man, make sure you check these fights out because I'm telling you, man, this is where I am finding these young cats to bring to you every day, to put to your attention, man, is I do this stuff. I watch this. So you guys do it too, man, and let me know if you see any of these guys out here that you think should be talked about, man. But, yeah, so those are the only really fight cards really going on. Not too much in the fight world, really.
No, but in terms of a first quarter 2022, it's really shaping up. There's been some great announcements and some great fight lineups. But it just occurred to me, did you happen to notice who's on the undercard of that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight at Madison Square Garden? Have you Googled
I haven't even checked out the card yet. I haven't even checked it out. But who's on it?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I haven't checked. I was so excited by the news. I read the actual story itself, and it mentioned, and then it just occurred to me, they're headlining, which is first.
Let's see if we got a little bit of a card lineup here and see what's happening. Our Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. This is a huge one, guys. This is going to be a big event. No, it has not been announced yet. Nothing on my sources have shown me what it is, but I haven't done too much digging about it. We'll definitely find out who's going to be on this undercard soon enough. It should be announced. But I'm excited for that fight, man. I can't wait to see these two ladies get in there and do battle, man.
The other day we had Hannah Rankin in the studio, and she said she had a fight lined up, but she couldn't announce it just yet. Did you happen to notice that has that been announced yet?
No, not yet. That has not been announced yet. Not yet. She said she'll drop me a message the minute it does, and she'll let me know. She'll let me know so we can definitely let all the fans out there know when she's getting back in.
I know what I was going to say. Here it is. I just saw it now. I just saw the headline. Here it is.
All right.
Natasha Jonas to fight for world title on the Amir Khan Kell Brook undercard.
Yes, February the 19th.
That's right. So that fight sold out in 10 minutes, if you can believe it. Really? That's amazing. Yeah. So there's the English are pretty excited to see Natasha Jonas back in the ring, and I don't know. She's
honestly on that card. The undercard includes Vidal Riley, guy that I've been talking about, the Azim brothers, who I've been talking about, Bradley Ray, who I've been talking about, who we've been in contact with right now, getting him in the studio to come on. There's a lot of great prospects on this card, guys. So mark this one in your calendars for sure.
Yeah, that's a fight taking place in Manchester, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, February 19th, guys. Remember that date. You know.
So February shaping up to be a great month of action-packed boxing. Fans
definitely.
Like us.
The UK is opening back up their fight gates, I guess, right?
That's right. They were closed for the month of January, and they're reopened, and they're filling them very quickly with, like I said, action-packed bouts.
Definitely. It's exciting. Well,
Absolutely.
Do we have much more to talk about? I don't know. Is there much more going on?
I just thought there was a few lines to mention, a few upcoming bouts to mention. I'm really excited to see the women topping a bill at Madison Square Garden of all venues. I wanted to get a few plugs in there for a guy, Big Baby, and I'm happy to see that the Fury White situation is gonna because that will now AJ will have to fight Usyk. I mean, there was this talk this whole past week about taking a buyout, blah blah blah. But now I think the four of them will go. Fury White. I think Fury will win ultimately. Although one punch is all it takes from White's camp, and boom, out goes Fury. But then that's what the anti-Wilder said as well. Yeah. And then Joshua goes up against Usyk. I would imagine that Joshua's going to take his reach to his advantage this time around. Not like I think Usyk was ready for that reach. Anyway, I think my personal opinion, I think Joshua's going to take this next fight. So then we'll see an Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight.
The super fight that we wanted to see. That's what
a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
it's just going in this huge circle around to come back to exactly what we wanted, right?
And I think no matter who wins that fight, I think that will be Tyson Fury's last fight, and then we'll see the unclogging for sure. Because by then, if you think about it, that'll be late 2022. By then, Big Baby will have cemented his. Some have said, "Oh, he's a new Mike Tyson, he's a new Muhammad Ali," but someone else said he fights more like a heavy Shakur Stevenson. So he's not one-dimensional. He's a big guy with a great. I love his attitude. I love what he's saying in the press. First of all, he's a well-spoken young man, and he fights really well. So he's forced to be reckoned with. So anyway, I'm just saying, by the end of 2022, I think we're going to see someone like that into the. I mean, there's no shortage, by the way, of heavyweights. That top is really a decent top 10. But I think after this year, I think we'll see Tyson Fury step aside. He'll have made his 40, 50, 60 million bucks. But
just imagine the purse bid for him and Anthony Joshua again, or just even him and Usyk. Like if he's getting $38 million to step into the ring with Dillian White on a card that might not even be pay-per-view in North America, will be shown for free on ESPN.
Yeah,
he's getting $38 million.
Well, if that sets up his name for pay-per-view, then that's how I would look at it. It's like, look at the long game. But I mean, so I'm saying to myself, rather ridiculously, so imagine if he's making $32 million for this fight. Let's say another $32 million for that next fight against Anthony Joshua or Usyk, whoever. Okay, so now he's got $60 million cash in the bank, let alone any kind of other revenue streams. Okay, divide that by eight pints. So how many pints now can he buy? 8 pints a day.
Death. He can buy death. That's what he can buy.
You know. So
he can buy himself to death. He can drink himself to death. No problem. Not a
problem. No problem. And as many friends who want to come along for the ride, I'm sure they'll go for the ride as well.
Oh my God!
But I mean, just think of it, because he has said how, he really enjoys life, and that includes alcohol, and so I mean, you put that much money in the guy's bank, and at the end of the day, he's up and down weight-wise. He's up and down like a roller coaster. So I don't really.
He's young. He wants to enjoy it, man. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
He's at that point. He's at that point now. He wants to enjoy his life. He wants to enjoy his millions, and he wants to have fun. And that's why it's taken him so long to get ready in between fights, because you know what? Right after the fight, he eats like a pig and drinks like a fish. And the next thing you know, he's 30 pounds heavier in a month. Like, he fought 3 months ago. He's 30 pounds overweight right now. Like, he's 300 pounds. He's 300 pounds. He was 270 3 months ago. So honestly, he's eating and drinking himself, just, like somebody who's partying, man. That's what he's doing. He's partying and having fun. Good on him, though, man. He deserves it. He's, every time we put somebody in front of him, he shuts them down anyway. At least he's doing his job. You can't hate him for it. You got to kind of love him for it and admire him for it. He's going to be around a little bit more, but not too much longer. He's got a few.
Well, I think, you've got guys like, let's just say it, you got guys like Don King, who are 90 plus years old. Guys like Bob Arum, 90 plus years old.
Yeah.
These guys aren't spring chickens. There is room. Pro Bellman's making a statement. You and I mentioned it before. Boxer's making a statement. Queensbury's making a statement.
Boxer has all to do February 19th. February 19th is all Boxer. Vidal Riley, the Azim twins, Bradley Ray, all of them. They're all signed to Boxer. That's a Boxer Sky Sports card going on. They're coming up, man. They're doing lots.
So if someone had Tyson Fury's ear, it's the same thing I said about Terence Crawford the other week. I said, if you want to say that Bob Arum's a bad guy and he can't promote, or he doesn't promote the right fight, whatever, say what you want. But at the end of the day, if you're going to take your $60 million and walk away, form a company, hire some people, and get some good promotional activity happening on the boxing. Not that it isn't, but there's always room for another great, well-fed, young and hungry corporation that can sign because there are so many fighters out there at all the different weight levels who don't have contracts. And there's more than enough room in Asia, in Africa, in South America, and Mexico, let alone the Ontario market when we open it up. Yes, I know there's a Canadian fight coming up with a Canadian belt on the line, but at the end of the day, there's some big markets that still need to be exposed. I mean, the American market is, the Florida, they're having their various fights. Oklahoma's having fights.
India.
Great example. I mean, taking away from our conversation last week, that's a huge untapped market, absolutely huge untapped market.
Yeah.
So like I said, so we got Asia, we got Africa, we got South America, we got Mexico, we got Canada. I mean, these are untapped markets. I would imagine as well, Australia is pretty well untapped. I mean, they're bringing out some brilliant fighters who we're starting to talk about. And, New Zealand's got a few, as we know. Miyamoto's up there. But the point matter is, Yep. So I'm just saying, I think if Tyson Fury, in the days gone by, if Tim Witherspoon was here, he'd tell us, in days gone by, the boxers made a fraction of what the boxers are making today. So even any boxer in any of the top 10s, going to the various weight divisions, they've all got millions in the bank. So why don't they put those millions to good use and create either a management arm or some. If they all banded together, for sure.
If they all banded together, they should get on that movement, man, and start this union, this boxing union, man. Help the ones that paved the way for you to make the millions today. Bang,
correct.
Here.
And that would be to enable the proper development of these young fighters. And I don't mean just the training in the ring, but the weight training that goes along with the psychological training that goes with the actual medical. You think of any pro sport, they have an entire medical division to take care of their athletes. And when we interview these boxers, we hear horror stories. Well, they're not really horror stories, but really truly, I've had to go from my job at McDonald's, to the ring, back home to sleep for a few hours, get up in the morning for a 5 o'clock run, I mean, I'm sorry, where's the medical staff in all that equation? Whereas if you were on a football team, a baseball team, a basketball team, a hockey team, whatever, you would have a full medical assessment, if not every day, certainly every week. And I mean, these guys are fighters, and and they're fighting for jobs, basically.
One of the names that comes to mind is an interview I did a while back when we first started was Trayvon Gutter, last name, not Marshall, Trayvon. Oh, the man was working 60 hours a week.
Right.
Yes. And honestly, this kid, man, he literally took a break. He took his lunch, like his 15-minute break, to have the interview with us, to go back to work, and then from work to the gym. And this guy, Trayvon Lawson, that was it. Lawson. Trayvon Gutter Lawson, undefeated. I believe he's 6-0. This kid works hard, man. And this is what I mean. He's got no promoter behind him. He's managing himself. He's got some small promotional company trying to do something for him. But you know what? He's still working, 50-hour a week, and still working, and getting his ass in the gym and training, and, injuries and all this kind of stuff that they're going through. It's insane, man, that it's like that. It's unfortunate. So there is a lot of room for, all this untapped talent to be found and picked up by new promotional companies, man. There's so many young promotional companies out there now. It's crazy, man. They're starting up every month. You can find a new promotional company.
Yep, not a day goes by when when I'm reading off the news items of the day, Monday to Friday. A day does not go by when I'm not making an announcement on behalf of a brand new company I've never even heard of. And here they are, either promoting a fight or signing some new fighter to their team, and so more power to them. But those kinds of companies, it's about who you know. So those kinds of companies really need to know the Bob Arams of the world, and that the Bob Arams of the world are, I hate to say it, either going to die or retire. Who will be in their shoes? Who will be there to fill their shoes? Right. So Golden Boy's in a bit of trouble. I mean, like I've said many times that the former vice president, Golden Boy, is heading up Pro Bellum now, and he's well financed. And look at what he's doing. He's not only signing fighters, but he's signing strategic agreements with promoters around the world, so that his fights can be staged in all these various countries and not have to rely on the big markets. Even though the big markets is where big money is, but at the end of the day, you can make, as he's proving, an awful lot of money in these. Whether it's India, whether it's Africa, whether it's South America, he's putting Australia, New Zealand, whether he's putting on fights there or in America, it doesn't matter. Fights are fights, and the stadiums are being filled, the broadcast rights are being sold. I'm pretty sure the merch rights are right up there as well. And at the end of the day, those small companies are being to make noise, and it just goes to show what kind of opportunity there is in the boxing industry these days. So good on them.
I think this year is going to be a big year for Boxer and Pro Bellum. I think we're going to see a hell of a lot of them this year. They're going to pop up. That name is going to be, linked in your brain and synonymous with the word boxing. You're going to hear a lot of them, man. And they are putting together some big fights, and they're not holding back, man. They're going full tilt, and I commend them on it.
Yeah, me too. And
shout out to our viewer, Orlando Fernandez. Thank you for the shout out, man. There, yes, thank you that you love our show. Go check out talkinfight.com, please. Subscribe, hit up the likes and shares for us, please, and set the reminders, man, so you can join us here daily.
Right on. So I guess that's it, Mike.
Yeah. So on that bit of news, to all the fans.
Wait! Before you go, do you have a watching live party tomorrow night?
No, we do not. We do not.
So you'll be watching from the privacy of your own home.
I will be privately watching from my home in comfort.
All right.
Yes.
Good.
But don't forget, folks, make sure you tune in 4:00 Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, for the Knockout of the Week Award. You're not going to want to miss that, man. It's a great show. Make sure you're there. Set that reminder, talkinfight.com. Go and subscribe. Set it up. To all the Talkin' Fight fans who joined us today, thank you very much, man, for joining us on the Friday night panel, where you get your information for what's going on in boxing this weekend. We will see you next week. Same time, same channel, same panel.
See you then.
Later.